Musharraf may have become dispensable today, but that's written in stone in our history. Maruf.
Arnab, can I come in with 3 quick points? Point 1. Mr. Hilali and others have been referring to Afzal Guru as a freedom fighter. Pakistan might see him as such. But internationally, post 9/11, UN Resolution 1373 makes it very clear that there is no difference between a freedom fighter and a terrorist. They're all terrorists, period. Second point, Pakistan keeps saying Kashmir is disputed.
1 minute, please. 1 minute, please.
Sir, please let me complete, sir. I've heard your part of the debate. Please let me make 3 points. Second point is that Pakistan keeps saying that Kashmir and Kashmiri rights to determine their future should be addressed. Bulk of international polls and various other opinion polls are showing that a number of Kashmiris, and I'm talking 73% or more, are looking at independence as an option. Would any of our Pakistani guests be even open to debate that option, that there is a third option for them other than joining the Union of India and joining the Union of Pakistan, with Pakistan, whenever they say address Pakistan, Kashmir issue, which means allow them to join the Union of Pakistan. And the third point I want to raise is that what are the options for India? India has shown post 26/11 that it wants to continue to be prodded by the Washington government to go ahead and have talks with Pakistan despite all sorts of consequences. On one side, the Delhi government, on one side, Delhi's government is wanting to cut off all diplomatic links with Italy because 2 Marines disappeared back in Italy. And on the other side, 160 Indians were killed by attackers that came from Pakistan, where every evidence proves that they were state actors, state-sponsored, and we still go and talk with them and we say we are trying to, for rapprochement. I mean, it is a complete shame. It is a disaster of Indian diplomacy, and I don't know why we are going along that line.
My question to Syed Tariq Pirzada is this.
If Prime Minister Manmohan Singh has
my question to
let him make a pilgrimage to his hometown, but not take the entire India into a diplomatic arrangement with Pakistan when Pakistan wants none of it.
The question is, there are 3,974 terrorists in Pakistan, POK.
Mr. Pirzada, one last remark.
Mr. Pirzada, my question is to Mr. Pirzada. There are 3,974 terrorists in POK waiting to enter Jammu and Kashmir and create unrest. A simple solution to Jammu and Kashmir. You don't have to pass these farcical assembly resolutions, Mr. Pirzada. All you have to do is stop these 3,974 terrorists from getting into India. End of the story. This resolution will only upset the diplomatic process, Mr. Pirzada. And that's not going to help Pakistan, the future government of Pakistan included.
Arnab, I appreciate your spirit of patriotism to guard the national security interest of India, but the reality on the ground is that there is an internationally recognized dispute called Jammu and Kashmir. It is recognized as a disputed territory by your strategic partner, United States. It was recognized as a disputed territory by your national hero, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru.
So why did what is that got to do with the attack on the Indian Parliament? No, one second. Why are you?
Your appetite to intervene.
President Musharraf said in public that the time has come to forget the UN resolutions because they are very old and don't hold, they are no longer real.
You cannot call Kashmiris a terrorist.
Nobody is doing that. Don't try, Mr. Pirzada. Mr. Pirzada, don't try to say. Mr. Pirzada, I'll tell you one thing. Don't
somebody was right who said that Kashmir is a diplomatic failure for India because India has failed to start the resolution process.
Mr. Pirzada, I think you need to hear it loud and clear. Every Kashmiri is a proud Indian. And every Indian is proud of Kashmir as a part of India. You need to reconcile yourself to that.
That's why you're complaining. That's why you're complaining.
No, what we are complaining.
That happened yesterday.
No, what we are complaining.
Pakistani Parliament.
No, what we are complaining is that your Parliament has passed a resolution which
the Parliament is a sovereign Parliament, a democratic Parliament. It recognizes that there is an international dispute, that the Muslims of subcontinent have an unfinished agenda concerning
It's your
Kashmir.
unfinished agenda.
Why don't you just recognize that?
No, unfortunately, your parliament has selective amnesia also. It goes into you. Mr. Hilali says I hallucinate.
Well, you know,
at least I
today there's
don't
a
suffer
problem.
from amnesia.
You cannot
no,
blame a dictator for doing
Really?
what Pakistan's parliament has done.
So you pass a
Pakistan's parliament has spoken for the people of Pakistan.
No, it's
and
not.
you just cannot swallow that fact.
Exactly. So restrict yourself to Pakistan. You don't talk about issues concerning India and the deployment and movement of the Indian army. Two responses coming your way from
That is
Kawal
not
Sibal
an
first.
issue
From Kawal Sibal
pertaining
first.
to India.
Kawal
That
Sibal is
issue
responding
pertains to
first.
the people of Kashmir. who
Kawal
are
Sibal.
Muslims.
No, let me, Arnav, if the views that are being expressed by the Pakistani interlocutors represent the views of large sections of the Pakistani establishment, then this debate that is taking place is an
People of
eye-opener.
Pakistan. Correct
Is an
yourself, please.
eye-opener. That how
people of
retrogressive, how retrogressive and how aggressive
How progressive.
their ideas and intentions are towards India. Come off it, come off it. This is not a serious debate. You are dragging the debate down
India
to a
has to
political
get
and
serious.
diplomatic level,
India
which I
has
can
to
characterize
respect
only as utterly
what
surprising.
it promised
And I
in the
feel
Simla
personally,
agreement. Start negotiations on the
come
status
off
of
it,
Kashmir.
come off it, come off it.
Come on,
Come
read
off
it
it. This is
again.
ridiculous arguments
Read it
that you are
again,
projecting.
please.
They're completely ridiculous
cannot-
arguments that
you
you are
cannot
presenting.
believe
They make no
what your
sense.
forefathers
They
did.
are frozen.
Your forefathers
They are
have
frozen in
recognized
time,
that
and you have paid
Kashmir
the
is a
price of your
disputed
follies.
territory.
And if you continue down this road, you will pay more price. Let me speak. Let me speak. I think we
Why
have to
you don't
learn
respect
the right lesson from what we are hearing
United
today.
Nations either?
So let
The
him
hearing
respond.
today-
Mr. Pirzada, let
And
Kawal
we
Sibal
should-
respond, please.
You don't want to respect United Nations either.
Sir,
and you want to be a member of United
Sir,
Nations.
allow
come-
Kawal
I mean, a Security
Oh,
Council
come
member.
off it. I mean,
Come on. You want
come
to be a
off it.
member of the
This
Security
is,
Council.
this
So
is
please
the
allow
language
Kawal
of the
Sibal to
past.
respond, Mr. Pirzada. I request
No, what do you want to do?
United Nations.
What do
Mr.
you want to
Pirzada,
do?
please allow Kawal Sibal to complete
No,
his
what-
point. Thank you.
Hold the plebiscite.
No.
Hold the plebiscite.
What do you want to do? Promote?
I'm just giving you an
Look, then there's no point in
Allow
having
him to
this
complete.
debate.
No,
But the
no, Mr.
There's no point in
Pirzada.
having this debate.
Mr.
Utter waste
Pirzada,
of
may I
time.
request you?
And
Mr.
Arnav, I
Pirzada,
don't
may I
know
request you?
why you should invite people like this.
Mr. Pirzada,
to
may I
your-
request
to
you
your-
to please allow
to this program.
to please allow once
who
Mr.
have
Pirzada,
utterly
Mr.
closed
Pirzada,
minds
Personal attack.
and who are
Mr.
living in the
Pirzada,
past
pleases
and
you, continue.
who contribute nothing useful to the
Mr.
debate.
Pirzada, I request you, please don't heckle Kawal Sibal. Let him complete his point of view, and he didn't interrupt you when you were speaking. So please let him complete. Yes, Mr.
All right,
Sibal.
I'm sorry. Go
That's
ahead.
all right. Thank you.
No. Now, the thing is that we are, first of all, we don't need to be defensive, either about Kashmir or Pakistan's claim about Kashmir, about anything that they are saying. And we should not start debating the issues according to the terms they set. The short point is, and that was the subject matter of this debate, that the Pakistan Parliament has passed this, Assembly has passed this resolution, which is a gross interference in the internal affairs of India, and this is almost unprecedented. And I must say, to the credit of Pakistan, that mostly they have not done this. And if they have passed some resolutions on Kashmir, they are brief, they are to the point, and talk about a resolution of the problem in accordance with the UN resolutions, etc., etc. They don't go beyond that. They don't go beyond that to support terrorists, to say that terrorists are freedom fighters, to support Afzal Guru, and to support the attack on Parliament, etc., etc. This is just going too far. And if they go down this road, there's no basis left for any dialogue with Pakistan. And we should now be worried, actually, because if this represents the new thinking in Pakistan,
Now,
then
let
we're
me
going to
just
have a
interject
lot of
for
trouble.
1 second, please.
Not only in Jammu and
Just 1
Kashmir in our
second.
bilateral relations,
Because
No, no,
and we are
I
heading
have-
towards
Let me
tensions,
interject.
a breakdown of the ceasefire,
Gentlemen,
and perhaps even a military conflict.
Gentlemen, I just want to say
This
one
is
thing. You see,
shameful
one second,
that
please.
serious people should talk along these lines.
See, what is happening, I want to go to Swapan. I have a few minutes left on this debate. I'll get everybody in. The question is, there was no need to walk down this path. There was no need to. But Pakistan has walked down this path. Mr. Dasgupta, in your opening remarks, you talked about, how frustrated you feel at the way things are going in terms of how Pakistan is responding. There is one school of thought which says today, ignore, 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 let it be. This is only a product of their political situation. Don't respond. Be cautious. What do you think, Mr. Dasgupta?
Well, I think, Arnab, I wish I could be so sort of blasé about the whole thing, that, this is part of this thing in Pakistan, this is a bit of their tu-tu-me-me. I think it's a bit more. I think, personally, I am inclined to the point of view that the assumptions on which this normalization initiative has been taken over the past few years turning out to be utterly flawed and spurious. To my mind, Indian foreign policy has made a grievous miscalculation by saying that, look, Pakistan has got its eye firmly on the opportunities which it perceives post the withdrawal in Afghanistan, and it's therefore disinclined to actually look eastwards and open up an India front. I think that probably is a bit too simplistic.
Yep.
I think there are other calculations at play in Pakistan at present. Or there is certainly a very important faction within the Pakistani establishment which sees that the India chapter must always be kept open.
So what should we do? My question to you was, what should we do now?
Provocative respect. The question therefore is not so much what we do as how do we behave in future. When mutilated bodies come, we sort of huff and puff for a day, and then we say, oh, it was a one-off incident. It was a rogue regiment, or maybe it was something which happened by freak. Now, another thing like that happened, organized. How much endurance?
No,
My question
I'll go to Admiral to respond.
Is this normalization? I have always
can I have a go?
That India's approach towards Pakistan should be one of benign neglect.
Sir, the thing is that we have neglected a lot, haven't we?
Yeah, neighbor, yes.
We've been neglecting only.
More. We don't need to have any more relationship.
No, we neglect.
I'm sorry, we don't need any more relationship than that. We don't really need to play.
Admiral, you know what happens, Admiral Javed, is despite everything that Pakistan does, Pakistan is always indulged. You know what happens, Admiral? You begin to think, well, Pakistan has a problem. They've got a problem. Understand they have a problem. It's a problematic situation. But now, when you become a serial offender, and when your parliament becomes a serial offender, then I think,
look, you see,
you're compromising an entire process, not appropriate, not reasonable.
Look, one thing is very clear. India is not prepared to accept the realities. The reality is that Kashmir is a disputed territory. The reality is that if you have to live together as neighbors, you have to solve this issue. The reality is,
tomorrow,
if
if somebody attacks tomorrow if somebody attacks the Pakistan Assembly. Tomorrow, Admiral, if somebody attacks the Pakistan Assembly.
Why not?
1 minute, sir. 1 minute. We don't do these things. We are not a terrorist state. But I'm just saying this to you. If somebody attacks the Pakistan Assembly, if the Indian Parliament passes a resolution supporting it, will you be quiet?
Yes.
Will you be quiet?
Can you just hold on? Can you just hold on? Let me tell you, Pakistan Assembly is responsible for safeguarding interests of Pakistan.
So that doesn't mean encouraging terrorism outside. You got it mixed up. Maruf is responding. Maruf.
National interest of Pakistan.
Maruf is responding. Last response on this.
So they must safeguard it.
No, this is promoting terrorism is not promoting.
I totally agree with one
Admiral
of you.
Sir, with respect, 3 quick points. Firstly, we are all aware that Pakistan's leaders and even recent politicians have failed to provide Pakistan any other bonding adhesive except Kashmir. You keep saying resolve Kashmir, it's a core issue. Okay, fine. Are you willing to accept the fact that there could be an option for the Kashmiris beyond joining the Union of Pakistan, which could be an option either to stay with India or take independence?
I agree.
Now, sir, please let me complete. I didn't interrupt when you were speaking. Okay, good. That's nice, sir. That's the first time somebody from Pakistan has agreed on this channel on this subject. Let me remind you, the UN resolution of 13th August 1948 was in 3 parts. Part 1 was truce/ceasefire. Both parties did it. Part 2 was Pakistan's withdrawal. Pakistan didn't accept India's intentions were good and therefore didn't go along with the withdrawal. Therefore, plebiscite could not be held. Now, what is the option for India? I go along with what Shapan Das Gupta says, that we should let the world know you are either with us or against us. If you want to deal with Pakistan, United States included, let them deal with Pakistan. India can get on with doing business with the European Union or whoever else, or Russia or China or whatever wants to do business with us. I don't know why New Delhi, and this is nothing with my Pakistani guests, sir, I'm talking of New Delhi and our diplomatic corps, is obsessed in engaging Pakistan. I think we can live without Pakistan. Benign neglect. We just create an intellectual mental barrier against Pakistan and get on with our
So you want peace with India, this conversation will have to end.
If Pakistan doesn't want to talk to us, we can live without it.
Please,
gentlemen, end
why
the
don't you listen? Why don't Pakistan and India? Why don't Pakistan and India vacate Kashmir and let the
this attempt, you know, this attempt at bringing, you know, something. I'll tell you one thing, sir. I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing, sir. I'll tell you one thing. I think I'm saying this. I'm saying this to you with great seriousness. You're a very senior person. So I'm telling you this. Please understand one thing. The Jammu and Kashmir
is. I'm asking this question.
Yeah, I'm telling you, and I ask any Indian, he'll tell you that, Admiral, Jammu and Kashmir was and will be an integral part of India. Indian democracy is not so fragile to be affected by an attack by Afzal Guru. 1 minute. But the Pakistani parliament cannot do what it has done today. And Chandan Mitra, I think all eyes will be on the parliament tomorrow. Chandan Mitra, tomorrow all eyes will be on parliament, on how our parliament responds. On how our parliament responds.
I would like a resolution from our side, a parliament to pass a resolution declaring Pakistan a terrorist state and calling off all dialogue and trade with Pakistan, and we must give a fitting response. Because a parliament resolution is not acceptable.
Well,
we can deal with terrorists.
We'll see what happens in parliament.
Neither we nor you. Nobody is bound to accept each other's resolution.
Well, I think they are not bound, but
how can you trust them? This is what they're doing. But I must agree with Maruf and Swapan that we cannot expect anything from this very namby-pamby government we have. So this is a very unfortunate reality for India.
Well, we have
but Pakistan is not responsible.
Well, we have to defend our own interest, and I think the question which I put to all Newshour viewers tonight is this: could Pakistan have done without trying to provoke India by passing a resolution in its assembly on Afzal Guru in the way that it has done today? This debate is open. I know we disagree, but thank you for joining us. I'd like to invite viewer responses, please. Thank you, gentlemen.